Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Welcome to the Amateur Otaku podcast, where we talk all things My Hero Academia. As always, I am your host today, All Mike, aka the Novice Cinephile. Joining me, like every episode, is the Mad Doc himself, Isaac Wolf, the Emblemaniac. Isaac, My Hero's on break right now at the time of this recording. We've had a few breaks sporadically, so we figured it was a good idea to cover the spinoff, right? My Hero Academia team up missions. What are your thoughts getting into our second spinoff? We've been going through Vigilantes, but are you excited to see another kind of corner of the My Hero universe?
I mean, it's just a matter of time before we cover the team up mission in my book.
I know, right? I feel like we've covered just about everything there is to cover in My Hero. But thankfully, for this episode, it's not just the two of us. We're joined by none other than Dynamite's number one fan, the Scarlet fan, Brandon Alvarado. Brandon, you haven't been with us for My Hero in a while. First off, how's it going, man?
It's all good. It's all good. I haven't been in my hero pod in a while, but I haven't. It's not because I haven't been in touch with my hero, but yeah, schedule, life. But I'm ready to blow it up here. Get it?
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Saying stuff like not being in touch with my hero sounds so wrong out of context.
You know, Isaac, not everything
It
has
would
to
have
be a
been.
dirty joke.
See that's the problem, though, Isaac. That's the kind of thing that wouldn't sound out of place unless you made it sound. Let me ask you a question. Making things out of place, is that your quirk?
My quirk is being chaos.
I thought his quirk was like
that.
Miss Joke, where Isaac has to keep spewing puns.
You know, it's funny. I make you think, and now I'm thinking because he says it's chaos. It's similar to crossover, by the way. It's similar to Domino. You know, Domino has luck. He has chaos.
Nice.
It's just an impromptu effect of life.
Hilarious. So, guys, if you aren't familiar with team up missions, luckily we're covering chapter 1. You can check it out on Viz Media. It is simply titled Team Up Missions Begin. There was also like a prequel chapter. I don't know if you guys read that at all.
Yes.
It's just like a fun All Might centric story, which I thought was neat. Oh boy, the chaos begins. So to keep up with everything, this story is taking place right around when Deku and the gang gets their provisional licenses and they're doing the work studies. I think it might be a little bit before they team up with Endeavor, or it's during or after. It's in that time period, though, just so you guys are aware. It's roughly around where we ended last season. So I think it's a perfect time to kind of pick up the story and see what missions the kids have been going on in between the mainline stuff and continuity. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this entire concept of like following these kids through these work studies, especially chapter 1, where it's Deku, Bakugo, Uraraka, and Midako, a team up we haven't seen in the series yet?
I think what I like about it is this. So My Hero has always been a series that tries to, like a traditional shonen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It tries to make the most of every single character, right? Even if it's a side character, they're going to try to exploit that character as much as possible without sacrificing story, right? And a spinoff is just the best way to do it, especially when you're looking for certain types of interactions that have not normally been the focus of the show, right? Like, people that have read the manga know how far away the manga is, right? But of course, the manga is at a point where you don't have any more time to explore any more of these dynamics. So I like the fact that this author, which is not Horikoshi, was able to find a pocket and get Horikoshi's blessing where he can explore these dynamics. And I think is it a perfect time frame too. Like, it is literally towards the end of the provisional licenses arc, after Overhaul, right before one of the biggest arcs of the book, which is going to be covered in season 6, and also right after World Heroes Mission has come out, which we all know that the whole team up aspect of that movie was one of the biggest
Spoiler,
pulls.
we have an interview with one of the voice actors. Plug.
It's one of the yes, that was awesome. What's up, Ryan? But that is one of the biggest pulls of that movie. Like what makes that movie is the fact that we see the main three, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku working together to save the day. So the fact that they've expanded on that concept in this setting works perfectly well. So because now I can't wait to see more of this, because it also kind of taps into Deku's innocent superhero fanboy, right? Because
Right.
the more different heroes that we expose him to, the more we see his analytical mind analyzing that particular hero, which we see a lot of it in this chapter, and I hope to see more of it as he goes into different team ups. So I think it's actually brilliant, and I actually enjoyed this chapter quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Just want to give credit. The writer for Team Up Missions is Yoko Akiyama, who is one of Horikoshi's assistants. They've been doing a fantastic job with Team Up Missions. I've been reading this series like in my personal time before. Some of the chapters are really great, and I wish if the anime is ever going to have like filler episodes, this is the type of stuff that I'm interested in. It's what I love about My Hero, right? Having all these characters, having them still doing like work studies, still doing class stuff, which My Hero Academia is kind of stepping away from when we get into the Endeavor Agency arc from the last season, where he's like really out in the field. So
Right.
I think taking advantage, like you said, taking advantage of these supporting characters or putting Deku in unique situations that don't connect to the main plot of the show, it's just really fun. Isaac, what are your thoughts on Team Up Missions so far?
Well, I just love how goofy and All Might always is. That's for certain.
Yes.
I'm with you. So let's get into it right now, guys. So we're gonna start with, I guess, chapter 0.1, which is All Might trying to make sure his kids get involved in this Team Up Missions program that the Hero Association has established. It's pretty wacky, pretty goofy, but I just love, like Isaac was saying, like the goofy nature of All Might's character and him like having to stop an old man from getting robbed and him not being able to use his quirk, but he's still able to, like get in his muscle form and be an intimidating force, and he just scares the thug away. Stuff like that I think is kind of fun. It's nice seeing All Might get some shine once in a while.
Yeah, and then of course everybody just jumps on him to get an autograph, which is perfect.
Right.
But also it's a funny moment, right? But one of the greatest things about that moment is that he still is considered a symbol.
Right.
And I think that's what I like that this kind of moment illustrates. That even though he's not punching the bad guys, he's still an image that bad guys fear.
Exactly.
So I actually love that. That's very Batman of All Might.
Yeah, it was so great. He just walks up behind the guy and just muscles up, and dude just scared. He is just scared and runs away. But that entire sequence was a little bit of setup, a little bit of comedy, but it was still a great All Might moment. In the main chapter we're covering, chapter 1, which again is simply titled Team Up Missions. You were talking about interesting dynamics and having Uraraka and Bakugo work together with the number 5 hero Midako is a very interesting one. We see Deku with Bakugo, we see Deku with Uraraka. Seeing this trio and not having Todoroki take that spot and having Uraraka there instead, I thought was a really nice twist on it. Especially since like the last time I feel Bakugo and Ochaku have interacted really was all the way back in like season 2, right? When they fought at the sports festival. So that's again the benefit of having Team Up Missions is we get to dive in to all of these characters. There's like 20 Class A students, and being able to like mix and match them is pretty fun. But I like just how they all play off of each other and the trust they have within each other. I thought that was neat. What do you guys think of the first mission, teaming up with Midako and having to deal with this like poisonous gas quirk that they had to confront?
I feel so sorry for the guy, honestly.
I know, right?
But, and the most shocking of it all, Bakugo was actually taking care of it rather calmly once they knew about the reason of what's happened. He got along. Has to get props for that. Also, I have to say that I don't know if you guys caught it, but it's a line that was Uraraka. Mirko is so cool, and then Deku is. It's like they're self-aware. She remembered to give fan service too. She's a real pro, and I'm just. Are they serious? Are they serious right now?
She said, yeah, well, Deku said she even poses for fans. So I
Yeah.
assume she like did like a superhero landing or something to cheer the audience up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
but-
anime fan service in the way you're probably thinking.
Yeah, but it just with manga you always talk about fan service, and I'm just the way it was worded. I know it's me, but
It's 90% you.
yeah. But
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, the fact that Bakugo actually calm and collected, but just okay, I can just trust me. They went and he just handled that. This is honestly the most most pro style hero that I actually feel Bakugo has ever been. As in a normal and not just meager murder, if that makes any sense.
I feel like that also works though, because again, the placement of the story, we already knew Bakugo was having like a character change. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of just playing off of that a little bit. But sorry, Brandon, you were about to say something?
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Because I'm going to go in that route. So finish your thought.
No, that was pretty much the gist of it.
So I would argue that he didn't have a character. He's not having a character change. I think he's just opening more about what he's about. Because what I love about Bakugo's character is that he's a type of character that is designed to be misinterpreted as something else. You know what I mean? Like he's the character that you're supposed to believe that he's just going to cause trouble. You're supposed to believe that he's just a hothead, but he is a guy that is as much as a fanboy as Deku. He just doesn't show it, and the way he shows it is in how he strategizes, how smart he is in the battlefield, how he understands his role as a hero. I think one of the most brilliant turns for his character is when the villains take him hostage, and how by no way, shape, or form was he's budging from the fact that he was a hero.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's why I think he's one of the most fascinating characters of the show. What I loved about this is not just the fact, like Isaac said, that yes, the way he dealt with everything was just brilliant. What I loved about the fact is that Mirko was mesmerized about how they all stood behind him. Like of all the people in Class 1A, you could say that in the studies arc, where at the beginning of season 5, where Class 1A is versus Class 1B, right? Yeah. That's where most of everybody probably knew that, or were even surprised that Bakugo was actually thinking about his teammates. Like nobody's ever seen that before, right? And to think that this kind of takes place before that, and Uraraka has always known what Bakugo is about, and Deku as well. So Mirko is like, wait a minute, he's more than a hothead. And Mirko stood behind Bakugo because she could see that his classmates stood behind his plan. And I find that inspiring. I find that great.
Yeah, it's great, especially again remembering the last time Uraraka and Bakugo really interacted again, right? In season 2 of he didn't hold back because he respected her, and she didn't hold back because she knew how powerful and strong he was. And so it's seeds like that where it's like, yeah, I get the mutual, respect they have for each other, which makes them a good team. You throw in Deku, who both of them respect, even though they have completely different ways of showing it.
Yes.
But one thing I would always tell Isaac and Leo on the My Hero Academia reviews is that Bakugo is an interesting character because, by all accounts, he should be the main character of the story, right?
Yep.
He's built like Naruto in a sense, right? So it's funny to me where the first interaction in this chapter is, why are you making it seem like you're in charge, huh, Deku? Because again, Bakugo sees himself as the main character. So
Yep.
it's not necessarily that he's arrogant for the sake of being arrogant, but he's arrogant in the same way Naruto was of, I'm gonna be
Right. Yeah, and I think what you're trying to say is like he is the main character of his story. So
Right.
everybody needs to get behind. Right. Exactly. I believe it. 100%.
And that's the demeanor he's giving off because again,
Yep.
if he was the main focus, think about it. He is the strongest person in the class. He's one of the smartest kids in the class. He is one of All Might's proteges. He is destined to overtake the #1 hero and become the world's greatest hero. By all accounts, he is the main character of the story. But then the story turns and it's like, no, we're going to follow Deku instead.
Yes.
And so Bakugo's MC energy, I like to say, feels out of place because he's a supporting character.
Oh my God, Isaac, why? Wow. This.
I mean, we talked about he should be the MC, so I thought that's
so how about
fit.
So how? Oh my God. So how about I aim to get this conversation back to the right hole? So,
I can't believe I kept a straight face through that. Go on.
No, that's fine. That's what we're doing. But it's great that you say all that because it makes me think about going back to Bakugo's character and how fascinating he is and how much it's like we were parents, right? Like we've read these characters for years now, and to see this side of them, this grown-up side of them, where they can actually work together to do what needs to get done. Because in none of the panels, none of them are questioning anything. They're getting the job done, right?
Yeah.
Which also shows how much Uraraka has grown as a character, right? Which I love also. But going back to the whole main character energy and stuff like that, it also talks about the resilience of the of Bakugo's growth is, because you got to think about when Bakugo knows about Deku, he's upset because he's never had power. He's always had power, so he has to continue to figure out ways to grow in his power. But then he finds out that Deku has unlimited power in his hands that he has to develop, and Bakugo still is finding a way to meet up to Deku because he's going to be #1. What again? It speaks to those Naruto qualities, right? But he can still understand that even when he can't be bigger, his place is still fighting alongside him and doing the right thing, you know?
For sure. I love that about Bakugo as a character, and I think this chapter really highlights all of that, the good in him and Uraraka. Like you said, Uraraka in this entire chapter, she's just kind of doing her own thing, right? She's never questioning her abilities or hiding behind Deku.
That's gone, bro. Yeah.
She's just out here doing her own thing, being a hero, and I love it. I love that about this chapter, and I love that Mirako, especially the type of hero Mirako is, of how she doesn't have sidekicks, right? But she's seeing these kids step up. I thought that was great for her character as well. Also giving us an idea of who Mirako is, because we don't spend a lot of time with her, really.
Yet.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's great also because now I want to see how they continue to explore the top 10 hero variety, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go look at these other heroes and see what's going on. And I'm actually what I'm looking forward the most is I want to see team ups where Deku's not there.
I will tell you that does happen.
I'm excited. Oh, can we talk about the animation? I like how clean this new guy's style is. Because
the art is great, yeah.
Yeah, like, and it kind of stands out, and it's kind of more playful. Because Horikoshi's tends to be a lot rougher. Like for some reason, the way he goes about penciling, it's a lot rougher and a lot more and raw. Him is a lot more clean, but also I like how he uses onomatopoeias a lot.
Yeah, we got the
Which
Batman
float.
bams and pals, right?
Not only that, when Uraraka floats, it says float.
Or when Deku's like, "What can I do?" and he says, "Smile," and it's like, "Oh, that's a great moment for Deku right there. That's that All Might coming out.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know about you guys, but is it a little more reminiscent of the anime as far as art style goes?
I would say so.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the anime tends to be very pretty and clean too. So
yeah, it's a softer look compared, like
yeah,
you said, to the more intense Horikoshi art. My Hero Academia is so intense in the books, and you watch the anime,
yep,
it's just like, dang.
yep. I think the most closest to the rawness of the manga in animation in the anime was the whole overhaul arc, especially
Yeah.
towards the end. Like that felt Horikoshi through and through, which is to say is awesome.
Isaac, I
Okay,
know you're asleep, but wake up. I just want to question one thing right quick. Did
so
anybody besides me know that Deku's mask was a gas mask?
I did not know it was a gas mask. I was actually just about to say that. He
Okay.
finally wore his mask. Now, is it a gas mask?
I feel like it has to be because everybody else is wearing gas masks in this scene, and Deku's just wearing his normal mask. And so I feel like he would be knocked out right now if it wasn't,
Wait,
which is just me.
if you look at the corner, it says Under Armour. No, I'm kidding. Um, that's crazy. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's one of those
Um,
times where I'm like, did Horikoshi intend that, or was that them taking liberties and Horikoshi just signed off on it and say, "Yo, that's cool."
or maybe it's a mask that it can be retrofitted real quick for the like it has multiple facets. Like maybe at some point that mask will be used to breathe underwater, and he has to retrofit it. It can be used to breathe outer space, and I don't know.
So
I'm
it's a
being weird.
Batman mask. Got it. That's whatever you needed to do.
Exactly. It's like Green Lantern in a mask. I also dig now going back to the story.
Yeah.
I really do dig how because and I'm gonna say this in the most careful way possible. No spoilers. Um as the story wells up in the anime and where we're going in the current arc and the manga and all that, there's a lot of punches, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of battles, physical battles, right? That the heroes have to face as they trying to free Japan and blah 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 blah. I love the fact that they decided to go a different route with this first chapter because it shows the other side of what a real hero's job is. Sometimes the bad guy doesn't have to be punched. Sometimes you have to be smart enough to determine is he really a bad guy?
Yeah.
And I love that that was the angle. That was the what happened here. Because first of all, I cannot remember when was the last time this happened in My Hero Academia. Period. I haven't read Vigilantes, so I don't know there. But like most of the times when we encounter a bad guy or something bad happens, there's a bad guy involved. And someone that's really bad that's actually doing something harmful. Like
Mhm.
this is a guy that lived all his life holding out a fart because he knew that if he farted, he was going to kill half the population. I love Nutty Professor style. So the fact that he was allowed to let himself go. Okay, yes, I'm going all the way.
Jeez.
And our heroes helped him do it. I I love how they are making the whole hero thing holistic, and and it also shows that Mirko knows what being a true hero is, because even though that we're presented her like she's just gonna kick ass and take names, no, she's smart. She knows what. Like as soon as she understood the situation, she let the kids handle it,
Yep.
which was great. I love Mirko now.
Oh yeah, Miriko's great, and she's one of my favorite characters because she pops up in all of the spinoffs just about, and the main
Oh,
series.
really?
Yeah.
So
So
does she have a big role in Vigilantes, or?
all of the pros have a role in Vigilantes. So
Oh,
if you like
okay.
Eraserhead, Midnight, Miriko, they all Present Mike, they all play a role in that story. Even Fatcom at
Nice.
some point.
Nice.
Um,
I will
so
say this though, Vigilantes is rather horny compared to these two, so
Oh my god.
He is not wrong. But yeah, Mirko is a fantastic character. And it's moments like this, like you were saying, right? Not having a fight. I can't necessarily recall diffusing a situation without having some sort of action scene because my hero is a battle shonen. So
Yeah.
that they usually always are very forward with that. It reminds me of, ironically, it reminds me of a lot of comic books, right? Like Superman stories, where Superman resolves a lot of conflicts without actually having to fight a big bad in a lot of
Right.
his single issue stories. The bigger arcs, he does end up having to fight somebody, but
Right.
from issue to issue, he's not necessarily always fighting. And we always compare Deku and All Might to a Superman-like character. So I really enjoyed, especially again, Bakugo. That's all he cares about is winning a fight, but showing the maturity in his character to be like, oh, okay, Baraka float him, we got this. And they did that without Deku. That's what was also
Yes.
great.
Yes. Because it's also the whole thing about he understands that winning is not just about landing the final physical blow. Winning is about saving the day in whatever shape that looks like. Like he's okay having he's okay being given the star for letting this guy let this fart out. Like he's okay with that because he still saved the day, right?
Right.
And it's funny that you go to Superman because one of the things that I love about Superman is that he always wins the fight, but he doesn't fight because he's through the first punch.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is a very important distinction to make. He's never the one to throw the first punch, but he will punch and kick your ass if he needs to do what's right.
Exactly. And I feel like that's exactly what Deku was doing in this moment, right? Where Bakugo's about to go in for a punch and Deku's just like, wait, let's make sure he's a bad guy first. Let's hear him out. And then they go into it. And it's like, those are the things that Bakugo needs to be a little more aware of. And that's where Deku kind of has a beat right now. But once he understood the situation, it all played out perfectly fine. And it's just a really strong chapter of My Hero Academia. It doesn't even feel like a spinoff, right? It feels like it's still.
Yes.
Usually when you have filler or a different writer take over, whatever, characters can act, for lack of a better term, out of character. It still felt like Deku, Bakugo, Mirko, or Araka. And I think that's the biggest testament on why this story is so good. And why Horikoshi himself has even said he loves reading team up missions because it's the version of My Hero he wishes he could write on a daily basis.
Yep. It's great. It's great. And as we wrap up, I mean, it's what I love about it is that everybody talks about fillers, and most people that talk about fillers in anime talk about them as a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people talk about the fillers in Naruto, which apart from the infinite Tsukuyomi arc, damn it. Apart from the infinite Tsukuyomi arc, which is a great parallel universe filler, to me, I love fillers in Naruto. Why? Because I feel that I'm walking down Konoha and meeting someone new. And that's because they build that landscape, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what makes team up missions like a filler that I enjoy, I would even call it a filler, is because it's just another gateway into the world that I've already like really bad fillers are fillers that don't feel connected at all, right? That you really look at them and say, what's the point? But if you love the world and you go in it, like this one, it's like great. You can even see this guy's relieved after he let out that fart and be like, you know what? You did the right thing.
I agree with you.
It's a great episode.
Filler is nothing that I have a major issue with. Like Naruto filler, the reason Naruto filler at times is frustrating is sometimes they act out of character. Like sometimes Sasuke just doesn't feel like Sasuke from the main story. And so at times that's where filler in Naruto can get annoying.
Yeah.
But when you nail the tone of the world, you nail the feel of the characters. I love just going on random adventures with Naruto. That's what the entire story really is, right?
Yeah.
He gets assigned missions from the Hokage, and we do X, Y, and Z. And if you're not enjoying that, I don't really think you care about Naruto as a story. really, because that's kind of the point, right? Just the everyday life of shinobi.
Right. Right.
Isaac,
So-
did you have any other thoughts or anything you wanted to say about Team Up Missions Chapter 1?
Not. I don't really know what I can chime in that you guys haven't said, honestly. Maybe the whole part that the Horikoshi downright said that if they were to continue this when I'm finished, this author could would have his blessing for doing so.
Yeah, if they wanted to do a My Hero Shippuden style or another, continuation of the series when Horikoshi's done, I feel like Akiyama has proven that they can continue this world, without any issues.
He has a sensibility to do it. Like he really understands what Horikoshi has built. So I would say that too. That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up this episode of My Hero Academia. If you guys enjoyed this chapter review, let us know in the comments down below. We're doing this basically as a filler, right? As My Hero Academia is currently on break and hiatus. It's going to be on break a couple more times. So if you guys enjoyed this, we might come back and do chapter 2 or chapter 3. They're very self-contained, so we don't even really need to read them in a row. You just tell us what your favorite stories are, and we can just kind of go from there. With that said, my name is Mike, again, aka The Novice Cinephile. You can find me on youtube.com/Novice Cinephile and on Twitter @Novice Cinephile. Brandon, thanks for joining us. It's always fun talking with My Hero with you. We need to do this a little bit more often. Where can people find you, man?
Yeah, man. Awesome. We can find you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter and at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram and the Scarlet Fan 52 on TikTok, even though I have no idea what the hell I'm doing there.
Nice. Mr. Wolf.
Yes. Well, you can find me over at Emblemaniac, and you can find my work over at the Wombo Entertainment. And I blacked out for a bit, but you can also find the pod over at the Amateur Otaku Pod, and we have currently a giveaway on Sumeta at our where we are giving out 3 months.
The giveaway's over by the time you're listening.
Oh, it's over.
It's
Okay, sorry.
Now,
Sorry.
if you guys want another giveaway, let us know. We were giving away Crunchyroll for 3 months, but
let us know what you want.
Sorry. I had totally forgot that
we'll make sure that's the right hole.
But yeah, you can find us at Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter.
I'm exhausted. Okay.
Have it awesome, guys.
Go beyond. Plus Ultra.